Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Casual English Talk. I'm Alex, and I'm really happy to spend this time with you again. Every episode, we try to create a soft, relaxed space where you can listen to simple English and learn new ideas without feeling any pressure.
And I'm Zoya. Thank you so much for joining us today. We always want these conversations to feel natural, like two friends talking quietly while you sit with us and enjoy the moment. We speak slowly, gently, and clearly so you can understand everything and follow along easily.
Today, we chose a topic that feels warm, familiar, and comforting, something everyone in the world can relate to. We're talking about our favorite foods.
Yes, and food is such a beautiful topic because it's not just about eating. Food is connected to memories, family moments, feelings, celebrations, comfort, and even culture. When we talk about food, we are really talking about life.
And while we talk about our own favorite foods, we also want to give you ideas that can help you learn English more naturally. Sometimes small, simple topics are the best way to practice speaking because the words are familiar and you can express yourself easily.
That's true. When you talk about food, you automatically use very useful English, describing taste, describing your feelings, talking about your habits, talking about your daily life. These are the skills you need in real conversations.
So today we'll share the foods we love, why we enjoy them, the stories behind them, and how food connects to our personality and our memories.
And while we talk, we will gently show you how to use simple English expressions in your own conversations. You can repeat after us, you can take notes, or you can just sit back and listen. Any method is fine. The goal is to learn without stress.
Think of this episode as a friendly talk in a quiet cafe. Maybe you're having tea, maybe you're sitting comfortably at home, maybe you're walking outside. Wherever you are, we'll try to make this conversation enjoyable and peaceful.
And while we share our favorite foods, we want you to think about yours too. Think about the taste, the memory, the feeling, and try to describe it in simple English in your mind.
So let's begin this warm conversation slowly and naturally and talk about something we all love, food.
Let's start, Alex. I think this will be a really enjoyable discussion.
Since today's topic is our favorite foods, I want to start by asking something simple. What is one food that gives you a warm feeling the moment you think about it?
For me, it's a plate of homemade biryani. Not the restaurant version, the one made slowly in the kitchen with gentle spices and a warm aroma that fills the whole home. It brings a sense of comfort that's hard to describe.
I understand that. Homemade meals often carry a quiet emotion with them. They don't just taste good. They remind us of peaceful moments. When you think of biryani, does a certain memory come to your mind?
I remember weekends, especially Sundays. My mother would cook it in the afternoon, and the house felt calm. The smell would move from the kitchen to every room, and it created a soft, happy atmosphere. That feeling stayed with me, so whenever I eat it now, I feel connected to that time.
That kind of food experience stays with people. A warm bowl of soup does something similar for me. It's simple, but it feels comforting. Nothing dramatic, just a quiet moment where everything slows down.
Soup has a gentle personality. It doesn't try to impress. It just brings a steady sense of comfort. Foods like that remind us that life becomes easier when we slow down a little.
Talking about food also helps learners use natural descriptive words. Warm, sweet, soft, fresh, small words, but full of meaning.
And they're easy to use. When someone describes a favorite dish, They naturally express emotions, too. Food often connects to a memory, a person, or a place.
That's what makes food such a useful topic for practicing English. The ideas come naturally, and the sentences don't feel forced.
Many beginners feel nervous about speaking, but when the topic is food, they relax. Everyone has something to say about a dish they enjoy.
Even simple sentences work well. For example, I like this, or it tastes good, or it feels comforting. These small lines create real conversation.
And when someone talks about a favorite meal, the emotion in their voice becomes soft and natural. There's no pressure to be perfect.
When you think about biryani now, what part of the experience feels strongest? The taste, the smell, or the memory connected to it?
I think it's the whole combination. The bright color, the warm plate, the soft steam rising, the quiet family moment. Everything together creates a calm feeling.
I feel something similar with soup. Even a simple vegetable soup brings a sense of balance. It makes the day feel a little lighter.
Food has that gentle power. It changes the mood without saying a word.
When we talk about favorite foods, I think it's also interesting to remember how our taste changes over time. There are some foods we loved as children, and some we discover later in life. Do you have any food that you didn't like before but enjoy now?
Actually, yes. I never used to enjoy vegetables when I was younger. Anything green felt like a punishment. But as I grew older, I began to appreciate simple dishes, especially lightly cooked vegetables with a bit of spice. They feel fresh and light now.
That's relatable. Many people start liking gentle flavors as they grow up. I remember feeling the same way about certain foods. Even soup, which I like now, wasn't something I enjoyed much when I was younger.
It's interesting how our taste changes with time and experience. Sometimes a single moment can change the way we feel about a food.
That's true. I had a small experience like that a few years ago. I was traveling and I was extremely tired one evening. A small cafe was still open, and the owner served me a simple soup. Nothing special, just vegetables, salt, and a little pepper. But because I was tired and hungry, that simple bowl felt better than any fancy dish. I think that moment changed how I look at simple food.
That sounds peaceful. Sometimes when we are tired or stressed, simple food feels like a friend. It brings a sense of safety.
Exactly. And I think that's a good point for English learners, too. Sometimes simple English gives the strongest meaning. You don't need big words to express something real.
Food teaches us that, doesn't it? Even a basic dish can hold a lot of emotion, and when you describe it, you don't need complicated language. A few clear words can express the whole feeling.
That's why I like talking about food in English practice sessions. It helps people communicate ideas without pressure. They can describe taste, smell, temperature, or even memories using easy words.
And it also helps build confidence. When learners explain something they know well, like their favorite dish, their voice becomes steadier. The sentences come naturally because the topic is close to their heart.
I've noticed that too. When people talk about food, their expression changes. They're not thinking about grammar or mistakes. They're just talking.
And that's the best way to learn, when the mind is relaxed and the topic is familiar.
Speaking of familiar, is there a food that reminds you of a specific time of year?
There is. During winter, my family makes a warm, soft dessert. It's simple, made with milk, sugar, and a little cardamom. The moment I smell it, I know winter has begun.
That sounds comforting.
It is. And the smell brings back winter mornings, warm blankets, and quiet family time.
Food really connects us to seasons and moments. It becomes part of our personal story.
And that's why talking about it in English feels natural. We're not studying the language, we're sharing a piece of our life.
Something interesting happens when we think about our favorite dishes for a little longer. After a point, the conversation stops being only about taste and becomes more about the moments around the food.
That's true. A simple meal can suddenly have a deeper meaning because of where we were, how we felt, or who was sitting beside us. Sometimes the story behind the food becomes more memorable than the dish itself.
I've noticed that many people remember small things connected to food, like the sound of the kitchen, or the way the table looked, or how someone laughed during the meal. These small details stay in the mind for years.
They do. I remember one evening from my childhood. The meal wasn't anything special, just a light vegetable curry and rice. But I remember the soft sound of rain outside, the warm light in the room, and the relaxed mood in the house. Even today, that memory feels warm.
Moments like that stay with us. It's not about whether the food was perfect. It's about the peace, the comfort, the feeling that everything was safe and simple.
And sometimes the food becomes a symbol of that feeling. You may eat the same dish years later, and suddenly the memory returns.
That happened to me recently. I went to a small cafe and ordered a dish I hadn't eaten in years. The moment I tasted it, the memory of a quiet afternoon from my school days came back. I had forgotten that moment completely, but the flavor brought it back instantly.
It's amazing how food carries these gentle reminders. Even a small bite can open a window to the past.
And this is where talking about food becomes so helpful for learning English. When someone remembers something strongly, their sentences become more natural.
Because they're not trying to perform in English. They're simply expressing a real moment. The language flows more gently because the mind is relaxed.
That's why this topic is so useful for beginners. When speaking from a real memory, the focus shifts from grammar to feelings, and sentences come out more naturally.
Another thing I've noticed is that describing food and emotions helps learners practice simple adjectives: warm, soft, light, sweet, gentle, fresh. They may be small words, but they help build meaningful sentences.
And when the topic feels personal, even short phrases carry weight. A sentence like, "It reminds me of home," or "It makes me feel calm," can express so much.
Exactly. Food helps people open up. Even shy learners talk more when the topic is something they enjoy.
And when someone opens up, their English becomes more natural without them even noticing.
That's the beauty of talking about everyday topics. They allow learning to happen quietly, without pressure.
When we speak about food like this, it also makes me think about how our choices change depending on our mood. Some days we want something warm and comforting, and on other days we want something fresh or light. Our emotions guide our taste without us realizing it.
That's true. On days when I feel tired, I naturally look for something soft and warm. Not a heavy dish, just something that makes my mind slow down. Even a simple bowl of rice with a little flavor can feel like a small hug.
I know that feeling. Sometimes I want something gentle because the day itself has been loud or busy. Food becomes a way to balance everything.
And on days when the mood is light, we choose food that matches that feeling. Something colorful, something with a little excitement, maybe something sweet. It's a quiet way of expressing how we feel without saying anything.
Food connects so deeply with emotion. It's almost like the taste carries a message, a very personal message, and each person understands their own message in their own way.
There's also another side to it. Sometimes food brings comfort not because of taste, but because of a routine. For example, drinking tea every evening. It might not be the most special thing in the world, but the habit itself becomes a source of peace.
I agree. Routine meals have a calming power. Even something as simple as toast in the morning or fruit after lunch creates stability. And when life feels overwhelming, these small habits keep us grounded.
I had a period when I was very busy with work. Long days, late evenings, too many things on my mind. But every night, no matter how tired I was, I made myself a small warm drink before sleeping. That 10 minutes became the quietest part of my day.
That little ritual probably helped you breathe.
It did, and that's why I always say food is not just food. It's a connection to our emotions, our memories, our routines, and even our healing.
This reminds me of something that can help English learners too. When someone talks about a routine or a habit with emotion behind it, their English becomes more natural. The sentences grow longer without forcing them.
Because emotion gives flow. When someone cares about what they're describing, the words come with ease.
Exactly. Think about when people describe a favorite snack. Their face softens, their voice becomes warmer, and their sentences stretch naturally. That's the perfect moment to practice English, when the mind isn't busy thinking about rules.
And I think this approach works for all casual topics. Start with something personal, something that feels simple. Talk about taste, smell, color, temperature. These are easy ideas. They don't need complicated grammar.
And slowly, longer sentences appear. Feelings enter the conversation, memories appear without trying.
Which is why we always encourage learners to start with daily life topics. Food, family, daily routine, small habits. These open doors to natural speaking.
And they help learners understand that English isn't just a subject to study. It's a language to express life.
Talking about food is a perfect example of that.
It really is. The topic looks simple, but it carries so much depth.
And the more we talk, the more we notice how food shapes our mood, our comfort, and even our memories.
That's what makes this conversation so enjoyable. It's not only about eating, it's about the small human experiences we often forget to appreciate. We've talked about so many feelings and memories through this simple topic today. It's interesting how a conversation that begins with food can slowly open up so many small parts of life: comfort, routine, family moments, and personal stories.
Food does that. It quietly connects people. And when we talk about it in simple English, the conversation becomes soft, natural, and easy to follow. That is the kind of learning we want for you. Learning that feels peaceful, not stressful.
And we hope that while listening, you also remembered some of your own favorite dishes, maybe something from your childhood, or something you enjoy after a long day, or something you cook on special occasions. Take those memories with you and try to describe them in English. Even 1 or 2 sentences are enough. That small practice helps you build confidence slowly. Before we end today's episode, we want to ask our question of the day.
What is your favorite food? And what memory or feeling is connected to it?
Tell us in the comments. We always enjoy reading your answers because they help us understand your world and your English journey.
And if you enjoyed today's calm conversation, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Casual English Talk.
We'll meet you again in the next episode with another soft and simple English conversation.
Take care, stay kind to yourself, and have a peaceful day ahead.